Alrighty, welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here, coming at you live tonight. For those of you watching the replay, I'm going to make this about 20 minutes to half an hour. I'm going to go through the map, what to expect from the bonus units, and what metas you should expect. And then I'm going to do some live arena, just kind of thought process and brain trust and theory craft and all the above and below with all of your input in the chat as well as my own ideas. So kicking things off here, this is a new map that at least I'm familiar with in the game. It's called Mountain Road 2. It's going to be raising the earth resistance and lightning unit agility overall. And so when we get into the map, this is the topography of what you should expect here. All these numbers are the heights, and what I'm going to basically go through is all the different potential talk funnel points, places of hate, strategies, what characters thrive, which ones don't. I'm going to talk high level about getting into the bonus units then, and which ones you should expect to see and how you should counter them. And forgive me here, I need to get my epic pen going. There we are. So, kicking off the map, there's a couple really interesting things about this map. Hey, Shobareki, what's going on? And apology for those watching, I do not have the chat up on my screen yet, so I will be narrating as you all pop in. So the thing with this map is, and you always want to look at this first off, is the topography to get an idea for what we call, laning, if you will. At least that's the term I use. And so the basic concept is, where do people end up funneling if they have a base jump of 1 and a move of 3? And so these shaded slots here are where the starting positions are, and there's S1, S2, S3 are basically with slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. So on this map, people are actually directly across from their counterparts, which is a little odd. Normally they're staggered by a square or two, but here you are directly across, and for units that have a jump of 1, there's actually an extremely hard funnel here. And so I'm just going to draw this in the pink to really emphasize how strong it is. So these black shaded squares you cannot move on, and these black lines you're seeing are anything that has, hey, welcome Aaron, these black lines are basically, if anything, is a jump of 2 or more. So if you're looking at where the pink pen is at the moment, slots 1 and 2, if they only have a jump of 1, they are going to be forced to traverse the map this way and essentially get stuck in this hard funnel, those first 1, 2, 3, and then they're going to kind of encounter the same thing here, where they're going to hit a hard stop, and they're going to either go top or bottom depending upon where the enemy hate is. Now obviously if enemy hate is something like way down here, then people are going to kite that way down toward the bottom of the map, and if the enemy hate is somewhere up here, it's going to be the opposite. I think this map's really interesting for that reason, that there is a pretty hard funnel here on the top for both of these. And if you're looking at the bottom half of the map, it's kind of the same concept, where these slot 3 units have a hard line here, some non-traversable areas more toward the middle. And so I would imagine they're essentially going to be 2 different team fights going on here. And I use the word team fight. I'm an Overwatch fan, so I use a lot of that same terminology here. You want to almost think of this map as divided in 2, where a lot of the initiations are going to be this slot 3 versus the slot 3, and then these slots 1 and 2 versus each other, at least to start. Obviously hate trumps everything in this game, so there's probably going to be one attack up here, and then they'll probably attack the tank on the bottom if that's the case. So we're going to see some of that put in practice. I think some really unique strategies to think about here are essentially what you do on your first turn. So if you look at the slots, slots 2 and 3 here, although there is this little topography barrier, it's not insurmountable. Characters that have a jump of 2 or more can quite easily get across it. Excuse me. So my personal favorite here is I would either person in slot 3 via either the Tourmaline ring, or maybe an innate jump of 2, or maybe a passive that enables their jump. If you can get a teammate buff off, they'll effectively move straight across here. That's 1, 2, 3 slots, and they'll be able to buff their teammate here. And then effectively, once they start moving toward the middle, you're going to get kind of like a 3v2 matchup here in the middle, which either will be amazing or disastrous if your enemies or if your team is all grouped up. The other thing I like to think about here is if you have someone in slot 3, if you give them either the bow tie or Vow of Love, if you're just doing something like Charlotte for that innate hate, you theoretically could have this slot 2 person do the same thing. Go down south, if you will, and buff the teammate, provided you have faster agility, and then you effectively have a 2v1 on the bottom half of this map. So there's some really interesting movement things to abuse. And then finally, characters that have a jump of three or more will actually have a great time in slot two here, where if you're looking at the topography of this first initial hurdle, you go from a height 1 to a height 4. Most characters obviously can't do that, but those that have a lot of jump will be able to effectively just go straight across. And that's going to be a pretty significant advantage over anyone over here, where they can get across the map quicker. They're not going to get as bundled up in the middle here and grouped up for AoE damage, things of that nature. So this map actually has a lot of really interesting things to play with. And just in terms of quantifying the map buffs, it's earth resistance of 20%. I should amend this text. There we go. And it's agility of 20% for lightning units, which is frankly is insane, considering that vision cards at max are 15% for agility, not 20%. So lightning has a significant agility buff here on this map. Now, when we look at what to expect in terms of strong characters or meta or however you want to think about it, the bonus unit here is Renan and only Renan, and there's not even 100% vision card bonus this week. It's just the unit himself. So for those of you aiming for the extremely top high scores, you're going to need Renan no matter what. Now, if you don't have him, there actually is a decent backup. Looking at this cast, it's basically what we saw last week's arena, and to me, Leela is like an S tier unit on this map still for a couple reasons. Number one, when you're looking at the vision cards here, I think Ramuh is fairly, because it's general magic 50%, it's not confined to one element. You could easily run Renan and Ramuh, and I would imagine most people aiming toward the top are going to do that. But you also could do something like Leela and Ramuh. I think Earth is actually going to struggle heavily on this map, just because I think Wind is so good here, and since Leela is a bonus unit, even if you climb a little bit with Earth, economically, you're just going to spend more Viz trying to like refresh if you lose. You're not going to get your streaks as consistently. It's going to be harder to find that target because you're going to be targeting some lightning teams that quite honestly actually should be a relatively even matchup given the map bonuses here. But I think the threat of wind really deters the use of earth here. And if you kind of continue going along that circle, we're talking about a lot of magic units here, and wind in particular is known for their great magic units. I think that ice also has a time and place where if you start seeing a lot of people using Leela with the Ramuh, obviously a tank like Freyevia, who in my opinion is the best magic tank right now in the game, will shut that down immediately, where if you're running Leela and more, or who knows what. Anything more than that, I think you could honestly get into a lot of different gray area in terms of using comps, but I would very heavily expect lightning and wind, with earth having some fairly significant downsides. We talk about right now, I've already done a fair amount of climbing so far through today. I'm just currently sitting at 64. I like to typically try to aim for top 50 just because I like the payouts of the daily payout. I am saving up for the Sage staff at the moment. As insanely impossible as it is to max it, I might as well do it. I actually like this game mode a lot though. Hey, thanks Goodman. Welcome to the stream. I actually do appreciate the arena because it does, with the unit bonuses, offer a variety of different like stress testing for characters and different kinds of maps, and obviously you can pick and choose comps to kind of get an idea of like relative strength. Whereas Guild Wars, it's really just the same macro you're seeing, or it's just different. It's just not the same. So I really like Arena for that reason. So right now what I'm currently running, I do have Renan fully built. I am using him and Ibarra and Charlotte, and I am putting Ramuh on Ibarra at the moment because I actually like the extra 3 agility. Hey, what's up, Mysidia? Oh, dude. Spring break. I'm sad you're not vacationing, but I am very happy you're watching this instead. So those of you in the chat, Mysidia Gaming just joined us. Everyone give them a warm welcome. Yeah, this is kind of new for me, so hopefully it goes according to plan. So right now this week I am running Renan, Ibarra, and Charlotte. I do like Charlotte in that slot 3 so that she can effectively kind of like be by herself and kind of draw everybody toward her instead. And then I actually have the Ibarra card on Renan at the moment because he is significantly slower than Ibarra, where that card gives 3 agility, and Ibarra's passive that gives her the spear penetration also gives her agility. So if you're not careful, I do think she ends up being just a little bit too fast compared to him and kind of gets too far ahead of things. As of right now, I haven't really tinkered much with the equips because there isn't really like a hard meta yet. You can kind of pick and choose your enemies. And yeah, so far so good. So right now what we're seeing in the top 64 of the game, kind of what I was going over. So we are seeing a fair amount of, didn't mean to do that. A fair amount of wind so far. Leela being a great unit. You're obviously seeing Renan here. Don't get me wrong, the other lightning units are really in full play as well. I think Cloud kind of hit or miss. Obviously you can see this person here is using him for the Exorcist bonus card, but I don't know. Cloud's good on this map, but I think you're going to have a better time with some of the more magic-oriented units. And if you keep going down here, you're seeing a lot of wind already, like we were talking about. A little bit of earth here, but that's going to be pretty easy to beat. And so when you're climbing in the arena, there's really two things you want to do. Number one, you want to build your streak as high as possible. But then number two, it actually matters how badly you beat the opponent. If you beat someone, all three of your units relatively intact, you actually get more points than if you beat someone but only have one unit at half health alive. So although you do want to be cognizant of this rate number here in the top right, you want to go for the highest rate possible because that, feeds into the multiplier. It really is more important to maintain your streak and to make sure that you're winning handily. Basically, it ends up exceeding whatever the rate ends up being. So for now, I am going to just generally try to attack some of these wind teams that I'm going to assume are heavily magic oriented. And so for now, I'm obviously building my my Charlotte for that, where I have the knight armor on her. I like this elf's cloak for just a couple reasons. Number one, obviously it gives her some defense, which I think is important. But number two, I think the crit evade is really important here, that if I'm choosing out of the accessories that have defense, I actually like crit evade. I think Chocolate Fan is a decent one as well because it does have that similar crit evade, but I haven't really needed it yet for the HP. And in terms of how I'm building my lightning units, I do have kind of a hybrid blend of accuracy at the moment, where the Prunus Lamina on my Renan, oh, it's the magic build, that's not right. That's okay, there's no evasion units yet. I have the magic build, and then this is the aim. I'm actually going to switch this to the crit build in the short term till I start encountering some evade teams. I actually have Odin on Renan, which some of you might be like, that's weird. But I like it for a couple reasons. Number one, very high agility, 20 agility, and he is just a little on the slower side, as we mentioned. Until Europa comes out, who has 18 agility. I do like Odin a lot. But number two, I do like the fact that it has slash resist, missile resist, and I haven't fully built for the accuracy nodes at the moment. So because he's not that accurate, I am using Odin to kind of compensate for that. And I'm doing the same thing here on Ibarra for the Ramu Esper, where he also gives her accuracy. Feeds Lacerna, probably could re-optimize that, but for now, you can see I'm really built for Spirit, I'm built for accuracy, and I'm built for Magic, which I'm going to take on this first character, Azazel. So I am a little worried in my current state about seeing 2B and how well I can hit her. If I am looking at the vision cards, and that's something you should obviously do before you engage, she's built for evasion via both the 2B card and Tetrasulfid, so if anything, I might have some difficulty with that, but overall, I feel half decent about this, and it's good to stress test anyway. So if I had to guess what's going to happen here, my Ibarra and my Renan are going to get kind of clumped together on the top half of the map because there is that very hard funnel like we were talking about. Just while this loads, we'll talk about that again. What I've found is that, one of them will move 1, 2, 3, and the other one won't be able to move a full 3 spots. They can only move upwards of 2, and so they do kind of lag behind. I actually think there's some good opportunity for Keenblade up here, where because they kind of get smushed together, that if you can time like one buff, then another buff, then a Keenblade, you'll really kind of like waterfall that fight. So you'll see he moves forward here. Ibarra will only be able to move 2 squares. Oh, the illusion's gonna hurt me. I do feel fairly confident about my Charlotte versus Leela matchup, obviously, where Charlotte's a great magic tank. I love that buff on Renan, where he gives 35 Spirit up. Both he and Ibarra technically have shields for right now, so they should take obviously less damage. And then hopefully in this turn 3 here for Charlotte, she'll use the zombie mask. So yeah, Leela barely touches her. That's an amazing amount of damage from Ibarra. And he kills her. She has the re-raise though, so kind of expected. That's actually a fair amount of damage, more than I thought she would take. And so you're kind of seeing what I was mentioning earlier now, where those two units at the top are probably going to get one hit off each other before they get toward the tank. So you want to make sure that 2 versus 2 is advantageous to you, and that your tank can survive long enough for that fight to happen. So Leela went for the raise here. This is kind of just chaos at the moment, nothing too crazy. Yeah, just an insane amount of damage with the earth, with the lightning attack up. Relatively happy that she did not miss on the 2B, and Leela should be raised, and that's basically it. Yeah, and quite honestly, this probably could be optimized as well, where unfortunately Ramu is the bonus card here for the magic, but theoretically, am I thinking of this right? Oh no, Europa's not out yet. When Europa comes out in 2 days, they'll hit harder because the magic attack on Europa is higher than the magic attack on the Ibarra card. I would also theoretically think about changing up this card on Charlotte as well. Hey, all right. Seeing as you're saying GG. I thought you were leaving. Um, no, honestly, Aaron, there isn't a recommended strategy. I personally like that on the bottom because remember, if we're looking at the map, if you're predicting that there's going to be like a 1v1 matchup, I would rather have my tank be the one unit. But theoretically, you could have any strong matchup here. If you have Leela versus someone who's super anti-magic, that's an advantageous matchup as well. It's just that tanks are a little more versatile in how much damage they can take, so I tend to prefer them there, but there is literally no reason why a tank could not be in slot 1 or slot 2 as well. It really is, the matchup of what you're seeing. But whoever's in this bottom slot, you want to make sure that they're not going to get one shot by the person across from them. Where is it going with their vision card here? Oh, for Charlotte. So right now, this is kind of a carryover from the last map when there was a chance of evasion. I like the Aeon card here for the extra slash attack up for Ibarra on her sub job, and I like the accuracy up for them as well. And then HP up of 25% actually makes them fairly bulky. I actually don't think I need this at the moment, and I'm going to do something that might seem kind of odd, but should hopefully put things into overdrive. I'm actually going to sub this off for, where is it? I'm not revealing it yet. There it is. Blossoms in the Dark. So right now, this Man-Eater upon magic attack up is obviously, it's going to stack with the magic attack. So what I'm aiming for here is a super potent magic offensive attack because I saw just how potent they hit, how hard they hit. So I'm actually going to switch the Feeds Lacerna to the Galmia Cloak so that Ibarra also gets magic 30%. And right now their magic stat, 1400 magic and 1200 magic. And they're getting the modifier up of Man Killer and magic attack up. And I'm actually going to switch something on Renan here because I'm going to be hunting magic teams. I'm actually going to switch Devout Intuition, I think, to magic up level 1 to really buff his magic stat up because I'm not anticipating a ton of physical attackers quite yet. I do think it's going to be more magic oriented. And here we go. Number 47, you're seeing someone come in here with the ice comp to counter the Leelas that we're seeing. And you're going to see that all week where you'll see a Fryevia with a Leela because she's just such a great magic tank. And so I'm going to keep, targeting for now our wind magic teams till we get a little higher and then theory craft some other things. I particularly like this matchup because Joom is not weak against magic, but out of all of her weakness, she's weakest against magic. And so people are obviously going to build her to hedge for that. I think the Knight Armor is one of them. I'm a little surprised they have the Ahriman here, which is defense oriented, and they have a lot of unit resist here stacked on her, which I don't think is necessarily necessary, particularly. And actually, I'm going to poke holes in this build. Go with me here. So see how they have their Joom currently built with the pod, which gives unit resistance, and then the Ahriman card, which also builds unit resistance. Well, recall, she's sitting in slot 2, which means that you're going to have your Joom here in slot 2, and she's effectively... Where'd my pen go? Oh, there it is. She's effectively going to be bunched up with whoever's here in slot 1. So that unit resistance probably is not going to get full utility here, because since they're going to be grouped up, the enemy AI is going to prioritize AoE attacks on them, because they can hit 2 people at once. So, if I'm running Joom down here instead, I think unit resistance is probably a smart way to go, where you might get some, more unit-oriented attacks. But I'm betting I'm going to beat this character pretty handily. Also considering that their Joom is not built for magic resistance at the moment. Other characters with upside, I do think Valentine Celir as a good ice unit also works well, because if people do run Earth here, they're probably going to run the Evasion Earth units, because that's really Lightning's weaknesses. It's their accuracy. So although I don't love Earth this week, because I think they get obliterated by any amount of wind, if you are seeing mono Lightning, I think, Earth does have a decent chance to evade, or reasonably evade, what you'll expect from Lightning. It's one of the reasons why I was nervous about that 2B matchup, but ended up not being a problem. So you're going to see a lot of the same thing here. Spirit up, love that buff. They both have shields. I absolutely love that. So Joom uses the TMR. And again, that matchup on the bottom, this slot 3 versus slot 3, I'll take Charlotte versus Moore all day. Magic tank versus magic unit. If I instead saw like a Pierce unit down there, I'd probably be a little more afraid of Charlotte taking on a Pierce unit. So, damage wise, you're not taking a lot. Leela's forced to kind of go into heal bot mode. Didn't expect that, but yeah, this fight's basically over. They're gonna get re-raised, and Leela's just gonna be forced to just heal and full life. That's a devastating. I actually didn't think about that. That's a devastating ability to be able to silence the team. Just off the top of my head, ways to avoid that would be the Soul of Thamasa. I know has silence resist. I did not expect this. So really good thing to keep in mind. So Moore is actually a lot scarier than I thought she was going to be. Yeah, serious. So okay, good thing to keep in mind. So if I were to focus them in the future, that's where you start to potentially stack some anti-silence equipment. And again, off the top of my head, Soul of Thamasa is one. What's the other silence resistance? I know an Esper has it. Is that it? That can't be it. White Marshmallow? Nope. One of them here is silence. I won't spend that long looking for it, but yeah. Well, either way, so now I know. More the Merrier just bumped way up on my list. I completely forgot that silence was a big part of her kit. And obviously poison will hurt a lot too. That even if someone has a shield on them, like my 2 units do, poison will do 25% of their health pool no matter what. So I'm going to be very wary of More the Merrier going forward. And I'm actually tempted to swap Soul of Thamasa already just for the sake of that. So I'm going to do that here. And could have sworn there's another one that has silence resistance. I don't know why I can't find it or think of it. Oh well, that's okay. And honestly, that's not the end of the world either. That's the kind of thing where I throw Soul of Thamasa on Renan, and I switch out Ibarra for Cloud, and I bet you Cloud dominates that same comp. So for now, I'm actually going to see how a mirror matchup goes, just because I think it's going to be really interesting to watch. So for right now, their Renan is built for Spear Penetration here with the Spectacles. Their Charlotte is in slot 2, so she'll group up with him. They have Pod, which I would imagine makes her a little bit faster than him. She's faster anyway. She's built for Magic, though, with the Phrysis Esper, which has Spirit Nodes, Knight Armor. The Coral is an interesting card here. It'll give all of them Lightning attack up. And then the Ibarra also has the TMR here that gives Shell as well. So this is going to be a brute force battle. And probably a pretty long battle, quite honestly. That yeah, it's just going to be magic attacks on magic attacks on magic attacks, and Charlotte's going to just tank it like a champ, and it's just going to be a bunch of barriers. None of them have any barrier breaks, so it's just going to be a very slow grind there for a second. But this is the kind of thing where you'll hopefully see some of those advantageous matchups come into play where, I want my Charlotte on the bottom versus a magic unit. Interesting, so track wall to start it. Interesting ability there. I actually probably would not have that on because anyone on this map is really only going to get maximum 2 buffs on, because you're going to be in range, after your second turn, for sure. So Charlotte's moving toward the middle here. She's Midsummer Refreshment, more Spirit. They both have their shields equipped now. Yeah, it's a tough mirror matchup up top. And so hopefully my Charlotte will use Zombie Mask here. So I actually have my Charlotte's Limit Break disabled for that exact reason, that I don't want her using it too early. Spear Penetration up. Wow. That's actually a lot more damage than I thought it would be. Oh, they are in range. Yeah, the lightning units look great. I'm kind of like a lightning simp now to some degree. Wow, I'm kind of shocked that my Charlotte took as much damage as she did. They do have a lot of spear penetration, though. Magic evasion. Interesting. So honestly, the lightning versus lightning duels are going to be an absolute nightmare this week because of things like the reflex, the amount of the double reflex, the amount of barriers, The amount of spirit that exists. It's yeah, and I'm gonna lose here. Interesting, 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 interesting. So now we're gonna do something a little bit different. Seeing the amount of wind teams, is we're gonna start to dabble in it, going into that ice mode, where I actually prefer the arena for that, where you in non-light and non-dark metas, you can basically just kind of get the wheel of elements at all times. So I kind of had one prepared from last week. I am gonna sub out Leela for Renan here, and I'm going to get the Ramu on him wherever that old man is. There he is. I am actually going to go. Yep. And then I'm actually gonna switch. You're gonna see something interesting. So hold on. This is what I was talking about earlier. Go with me here. We're moving all this positioning around. Renan's gonna be slot 1. My Gilgamesh auto float gives him jump +1. And so what I want him to do is jump over this hurdle, and I want him to Keenblade Fryevia on turn 1. And I'm going to hopefully just like turtle up here and create an advantageous matchup at the top. Or disastrous. They could just AoE the shit out of me and I die. So I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go Prunus Lamina again on him for max damage at the moment. If it was a really heavy magic tank, like that last Charlotte matchup, I probably should have switched to the Cypress Pile. Shame on me that I didn't, but that's okay. That's what this testing is for. And I'm going to keep his TMR on him for now, just because I am a fan of that if you can get it off. And we're going to stop there. So for my Fryevia, just kind of a general setup, I have on the White Maid's job Full Life and Curata on, so that she effectively just kind of like heals herself, heals people up, and she just ends up being a big punching bag. And then for the Spellblade, I believe I only have Spell Veil Blade, Silence Blade, and a Track Barrier. I like Silence Blade because obviously in a magic heavy meta, she has the opportunity to silence people. I can't ever seem to get Fryevia to kill. Oh, Fryevia and Gilgo to work. So yeah, it can be tough to make them work. It really, you need just to make sure that Fryevia draws enough aggro and gets enough Spell Veil Blade off attacks quickly, because if she does not use this attack once or twice very quickly, the rest of her resists. She just doesn't have as much spirit and resists as I thought, she used to have, where she starts off with 37 spirit, which is fine, but like true magic tanks can get higher very quickly, and so you need that Spell Veil Blade to activate pretty quickly. And if you look at her resists, they're not bad. But obviously when you're going against the Land of Jade, then there's some holes there. But I think this is okay the way it is. I'm not going to waste any more time here, so we'll see how it ends up playing out. Oh, I got to change his vision card here, and I'm probably going to opt for. We're going ice here, right? I want my ice units. I'm going with this. I want them to be super speedy. Super, super, super speedy. And I'm actually keep Fenrir on him for the magic resist as opposed to Odin, which is the agility demon. And so now I'm going to hunt these wind teams. I don't want to do Howlet. I want a rematch against this B+ person. Yeah. Renan is such a good looking unit. I agree. Both aesthetically and on paper. This is very cool. Just a cool battle mage because he really is bulky. He's got a ton of defense, ton of spirit. The barrier makes him super chunky. He's got the HP restore on the counter ability. Yeah, kind of that true time and tested battle mage. So, fingers crossed your Gilgamesh goes first. There's our Keenblade. Oh yeah, I've had a lot of great success of lightning versus light in the Guild Wars so far. And so Renan should do his barrier first. He will always do his barrier first. There it is. I'll get a haste on Fryevia here. And so Wasted turn. No one's in range yet, but that's okay. She still gets the spirit buff here. Hopefully a quicken on Fryevia next. So you're seeing the problem. She's moved twice and has not been in range. I turn everything off on Fry. Yeah, so really, Fryevia only needs like one or two abilities. The Spellveil Blade is really just it. She's kind of like a one-trick pony in that regard. So a lot of spirit up here. Hopefully a quicken. Oh, haste, even better. So both those units now have haste. Fry's taking more damage than I was hoping she would, but that's okay. Spellveil Blade, again, as many times as you can proc it, you can, but that got removed by the Leela limit break there. Quicken. Interesting. This is not working as effectively as I thought it did. I thought Fryevia would do a lot better. Interesting. Really interesting. So I'm going to have to try to go the other way here. We're going to skip this because they're just kicking the absolute crap out of me. All right. We're going to beat this team, and that's where probably end the stream. Yes, the Spellveil Blade buff does stack with the Renan buff. So effectively, buffs of two different sources should always stack. Oh. No, you bring up a good point, Dan. Maybe it doesn't. I was almost positive it did. We're going to check. All right, we're going to do some testing real time. So we'll go to unit chapter 1. Yeah, I thought Fryevia would do way better than that. But, you know, to be honest, I didn't build her as heavily against magic resistance as I probably could have. So we're going to go here. And we're going to pull a random party. See you later. We are going to test this. Actually, testing is like one of my favorite things to do in this game because I love to learn about it. So we're going to pick Fryevia real quick here. She'll use Spellveil Blade. I'm just going to put in a dummy unit so she can use it on them. There we go. Yes. No, Renan's a great support too. There's actually a couple. His Devout sub job, I've done some testing on it. Does a great job healing, but when necessary, it's really just a matter of him being far away enough from the front line, and because he is a little bit slower, that actually happens fairly often that he gets kind of left in the dust, which is a good thing because that means he can heal at range. Yeah, no, but Fryevia can get up to 100% magic resistance and should have higher spirit. She should get, like, with multiple stacks of Spellveil Blade, it should get up pretty high. So, one second here. So for right now, our Fryevia is starting off with 2 spirit. And so we're going to give her the lightning... Oh, no, it's Domain of Lightning. There we go. So she went from 2 spirit to, hold on a second here. Should be 37 spirit. Yep, 37 spirit. And now, if she uses Spellveil Blade, it should go from 37 up to 52. Oh! It doesn't stack. I thought it did because it was 2 different sources of spirit. Oh, good call out. Good call out. You know why? Because I know the Spellveil stacks over time with itself, that I figured since it stacks with itself, it would stack with other external spirit buffs. It doesn't. All right, well, we all learned something today, folks. So we're going to go back to the arena here. I'm going to slightly reformat that comp. Someone made the suggestion of Fryevia, Renan, and Ibarra. I actually like that suggestion too, but I kind of want my ice units to do more damage than they did, and that wasn't the case here. Why? I actually think I'm just going to go Fenrir here instead for the extra magic resistance, and we'll see why in a second here. So, ice unit attack up. Fryevia should have 37 spirit to start, 85% magic resistance. We're actually gonna do something kind of quirky here. We are going to get her to 100% magic resistance, 40 spirit, and because Spellveil Blade does not stack, we are going to turn Blizzaga Blade on for a little extra damage. And honestly, I don't know if she needs this on. Oh yeah, wind attack resistance. If Freyeva were on Ibarra should move faster in front. Yeah, Fry should definitely move faster in front. So I'm actually going to switch something up even further here. I'm going to turn on Protective Ward. Don't normally do this. But because they clump up so heavily, and because he hasted and quickened her and she got too far ahead. So although the... No, you're right. They shouldn't stack. Why did I think they did? Why did she jump up? I thought I saw 100. Nope, it doesn't. Thank you. Nope, that does not stack. See you later. That is absolutely correct that they do not stack. There was a way to get her to 100. How to... Oh, it was via the Esper. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to swap out for... I'll give her Fenrir. Because I want her at 100% magic resistance, because I don't think the Leela will hurt her. And then I'm going to give him another magic resistant Esper. Aegion it is. No, not Scouts Duo, and keep it simple. Okay, and then I will give her something for defense here. Or no, this is debatable. What do I want to do with her? We'll just stay with the Elf's Cloak. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. So now she should be at 100% magic resistance, which Leela will not be able to cleave through. More the merrier should, but that's okay. Probably won't do much damage. 99%. I'm off by 1%? Wait a minute, how am I off by 1%? It's close enough. And no, I'm cool with this. I'm gonna take this. So we're gonna fight that that B plus person again. Whoever you are, you're getting some good attention on my stream. So I would actually imagine Gilgamesh will not Keenblade first turn here. I think he will prioritize Protective Ward if I recall correctly. My fear is that he won't jump all the way across to do it. He'll still stay at range to do it, but that's okay because he has Float. He can cross that barrier anytime he wants. Oh, good call. So Dan just recommended a Titus necklace and platinum helm to do this, to put them together. I'll actually dabble into that because I do like the idea, but I know they don't have any real slash damage other than Joom, and I don't think Joom does that much. So with any luck, we'll see some ones on here for damage, and I think, yeah, there we go. Keen Blade up. They all get the spirit buff. I'm okay with Renan doing the frontlining here because he is pretty tanky. But hopefully, after this haste or quicken on Freyevia, she'll start to overtake him for turn order. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah. So Fryevia's gonna take basically no magic damage. This is so odd that they went up the mountain. I actually would never in my wildest dreams expect them to be fighting on the far left of the map here. God, that silence is a killer. I'm gonna have to give him Soul of Thamasa permanently if I see more the merrier. Even Freyevia is silenced now, and the raise. Wow. Okay. And technically on the Kotetsu, Gilgamesh does have re-raise removed, so that should help against more the merrier. And I'm actually going to tweak this in a second here. That I'm going to end up making Renan go stay further back, because he is taking more hits than I would like him to. And at this point, yeah, this is just going to be a battle of attrition after a while here. No way, they're actually going to win because they're going to have more HP here. All right, all right, all right, all right. This stream's gone on long enough. Let's put this dude in the ground here. This is hey, what, Sarah? Thanks for coming to the stream. I don't know how you heard about it. Imagine Ruby probably told you. So yeah, so I'm very happy with my Fravia build. What I'm not happy with is how Renan ended up moving here, taking way too much damage. I'm actually going to swap this out for, because he's not using his TMR. I'm actually going to give him the Magicite Eye Mask because he's going to have wind attack resistance up. Ben, what the shit? Welcome to the stream. This is kind of real time. Every Monday we do an arena reset, so this is kind of Theory Crafting Live, going over the map. Thanks for joining the stream, everybody. For now, I have an insurmountable opponent that I am trying to strategize to beat real time, so y'all can see my thought process, how things work. And so for now, I'm actually going to switch this to, I'm going to give him the Soul of Thamasa because that silence is devastating. I cannot have him being silenced. Fryevia at least can take it because she'll just take 1 damage in perpetuity. And I'm going to give him not the Prunus Lumina, although it does a lot of extra damage. Nah, screw it, we'll keep it. And no, I'm cool with this. Shit. It's not looking good, guys. This is a tough matchup. So I'll do this one last time, and then if I can't win, I'll end up just moving on because I'm talking in circles at this point. But yeah, you can see why Leela's kind of like my S tier this week. That although Renan is the bonus unit, Wind is just in such a strong spot right now, and Jum is such a versatile tank, and More the Merrier obviously is very potent with the silence ability on her. That Wind is in a really strong place, and unless you have a good ice team, you're not going to win, even seeing what I'm putting together here. So if this ends up not working, what I'd probably opt to end up doing is putting a physical ice damage dealer in the slot 3 so that they can go take More the Merrier head on, abandon the Keen Blade strat, just let Fryevia be a magic tank. I'd probably put someone like, what's her name from Final Fantasy 15? The Ice Pierce unit. Put her in, just have her just blow More the Merrier out of the water. And so let's see how things go here. We should get a Keen Blade here again. I'm still iffy on Renan being so far out front. He's obviously taking a lot of damage. Yeah, Sweetheart Sleer is a good one too. The only problem with Fryevia, Sleer, and Rose is that you don't have a bonus unit. The thing with the arena is you always want to optimize having a bonus unit in here somehow. And so really can't have those 3. Aranea, thank you. That's the name I was thinking of. So Gilgamesh is going to come here to do the slash resistance down. Did you do the math on the Secrets of the Heart on the Soul of Thamasa? I mean, yeah, he got silenced anyway. You're right. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. And he dies anyway. God. So at least she'll die, but Leela should give her full life in a turn or 2. The Jum is an absolute champ taking damage. I don't like how this ends up going, and she's going to get full life here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is not looking good. Oh, that's what it is. Thank you, Dervis. That's 67% on the limit break. Oh, okay, so it did expire. So, yeah, I'm going to end up losing this. Yeah, that's not working. That's not working. Well, either way, I've set out to do what I want to do, talking about the arena map overall. And so this is where you can obviously try to tinker with stuff. Right, seriously, Gilgamesh, literally any of your AoE abilities. So I'll give this one last try here. I'm going to swap out Gilgamesh, abandon the Keen Blade idea. I'm actually going to put in, like we were just talking about, Aranea, because she also will give the area resistance with her card to Fryevia. Oh. Sorry, I'm thinking a lot here, guys. No, I actually might keep Fenrir because I want my Fryevia to maintain that 100% magic resistance for now. So we're going to do the Ice Lance here. I'm going to give her Zizabel's going to go for a heavy magic armor. Like this. I am going to Renan's agility is at 78 and Fry is slower than him, which I don't want at the moment, so I need to speed her up. And I'm going to do so via the Bewitching Boots, I believe. So that has the highest agility. Yeah, Fenrir's great too. I want to make sure I have a magic oriented Esper on Fryevia, and although I have a couple, I think Fenrir's the best. Try Pod on Fry. I want to give it a shot first, just because I don't want her to take too much damage from more. Because again, people that are in that slot 3 are going more than likely going to get an attack off on each other, and so yeah, I would imagine that the Pierce resistance down and whatnot. I just need to make sure that my AI is correct here. Yeah, Rapid Pierce is good. All right, we're gonna give this a shot. I'm actually gonna take Soul of Tomasa off here. I'm going to put the Galmia Cloak back on because it doesn't do anything against silence, and he should move second to Fryavi. He's got agility of 78. She's got agility of 82. So now she should at least lead the way, which I want. So we're gonna give the. Oh, wait a minute. Special caveat. On the Aranea, I need to make sure that I turn off her aerial supremacy because this is a teammate buff. So what would happen right now is her first turn she would jump over this ledge here to go buff Fryavia, which we do not want. We want her staying in her lane. And so let's give things a shot here. We are going to take on B plus for the what seems like 10th time here and has doubled the time of my stream. I can't imagine. Couldn't imagine this happening, but with any luck here, Renan will move second. He's got the innate wind resistance. He'll put his barrier up. He'll do the spear and the missile resistance. Fryavia should move ahead of him. Probably isn't going to proc Spellfield Blade, and if she does, it's really not going to give her any advantage because as we tested, she doesn't get Spirit from that and Renan. So at this point, because Fryavia is really not doing anything offensively, I am almost tempted to entertain different magic tank options that, you know, adds a little more just offensive potency and utility. But yeah, so she'll hopefully move forward. With any luck here, she will just destroy More the Merrier before any of that silence shenanigans happens. And Renan still moved first for God knows what reason. I don't know how that happened agility tuning wise. I need to enable Aranea's second buff there. Yeah, see, she's taking a lot of damage even with the magic buffs. So here's our magic shield and our hate. Please one-shot her. Nah, doesn't even... Wait, what? Did anybody just see that? Did anybody just see her kill her with health remaining? I'm fine. Hold on. Full life failed? Okay, scrap this. Hold on, we gotta do some tweaks here. I won? Wait a minute, what? Somehow Renan and Fryavia just 2v3'd them. How? I'm not really sure. But we'll do one last one here for the stream. And then maybe just some other small alterations on other comps. So, I need to make sure that Aranea's second buff here is on. Frost Arts, I need this on. I also need to make sure that she has a magic-oriented Esperon instead of the Odin. Because she took way more magic damage than I wanted her to. I'm going to give her Titan here instead, because Titan has Spirit Nodes. Titan also has Pierce Attack up, wherever that... There he is. And then, for reasons unbeknownst to me, Fryavia is still slower than Renan, which I just legitimately don't want. So I'm actually going to give her, although the Spirit isn't going to stack perfectly, I am going to do this instead, and I'm going to go slash attack resistance here. There we go. There we go. Alright, this should hopefully yield some better results. Yeah, so my Fryavia is using White Mage for the full life, for the Curata. I do like it that she ends up just being a massive punching bag. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. She ends up being a massive punching bag. And just for those of you watching, this is not optimal for point acquisition. It does. Lightning unit agility, 20%. That's what it is. So the stats I'm seeing in the screen are not the same as the stats when you get inside. So for those of you watching, Lost Shore just pointed out, map buff is 20% to agility. So Renan, although when I go into his character, it states 1 level of agility, once you actually enter the match here, he gets a 20% buff to that instead. So that's why he's moving quicker. So that's probably going to happen again, because 20% agility is, quite frankly, an insane map buff. I'm pretty surprised, to be honest, that they gave it to them. That they gave a buff to the map that exceeds something that you would get on a vision card. That seems very odd to me. If I had to guess, it's probably Gumi trying to overinflate the lightning, like how good people think they are. The arena pot, honestly, I try to save those for the times I try to go for the number one rank in arena. I've done it like 3 or 4 times. I've gotten close. I've come in second and third. Haven't come in first yet, but I like to save those because just in case that week I need to just like use 3 a day. I have it just in case. So pretty please, one shot this more the merrier. I have a feeling that it's not, but yeah, it did. Okay, so she's gonna re-raise here anyway. Yeah, that's the other thing too is that 20% agility is almost necessary to keep up turn order with the light units. There we go. That's the matchup we want. So although, oh, interesting. She's gonna get full lifed here. With any luck, I should cleave through Joom fast enough here that it shouldn't matter. Confusion on Leela is absolutely clutch. Frive is going to use Kurata here, so real big benefit. There goes Joom. Leela's confused. Okay, so we cracked the secret. So again, one of those things that we were talking about earlier, advantageous matchups in the slot 3, that's kind of what you're seeing here. That's okay, Renan can die. I'm obviously not going to get maximum points as I should, but with any luck here, this should be the Dragon Dive attack that should kill both of them. Yeah, see you later. So that's kind of exactly what we were talking about before, where you want an advantageous matchup on the bottom half of the map here, where if you can get someone strong in one slot versus the other, obviously you're going to have a good time. And then you want the 2v2 matchup on the top to also be advantageous, which it is. You know, Freyave takes 1 damage from Leela, barely any damage from Joom. I'm okay with that overall. It just took us a little bit longer to get there because was trying to put a square peg in a round hole. So I'm going to do just a little bit extra here in terms of targeting matchups. I would like to see and showcase the Lightning versus anyone that's running Earth. Yeah, Dervis, I heard today that new Ice unit that costs 90 unit. Don't know anything about the kit though, so I'm going to withhold any judgment or analysis on them. What, cost 100 for Ice? You're looking at her. Oh, no, you're right. Freyave is not cost 100. You're right. Oh, Bellis in like 1 week or 2, the Crystal Warrior, or 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We're getting a Ice cost 100 unit, and sneak peek from what I've heard, Bellis, that Ice Crystal Warrior cost 100 unit, will be part of the meta. From what I understand, they're going to take Celes and Astoria as like tank and damage dealer, and then Bellis basically is like a haste monster, and we'll just like support the hell out of him. Yeah, so he's a great support unit. So we're gonna go back to Lightning here for a moment, and I'm going to look if there is an Earth comp here. We do. We got one. Oh, barely. So just for kicks, we're gonna showcase Mono Lightning versus kind of mono Earth. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to instead swap this for the Mage's Habit because I want to give her a little extra defense. And again, if you're looking at the laning of that matchup, this Earth matchup in a second here, slot 1 and 2 is Oberyn and Noctis, so they're the top half of the map. Slot 3, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to fight this. This is level 40 Hallett. This is an easy win. Not even worth the time. But as you can see, kind of what we were talking about earlier, Earth, despite the fact that they have a lot of bonus units, will have a very difficult time in the arena this week because Wind is just so incredibly strong. So we're going to instead target this guy, Bay. Bay. And yeah, so obviously a myriad of different attack types here between Pierce and Slash resistance. So I'm going to at least try to build the Earth, build the Lightning comp to take that on, where I'm going for unit resistance. I'm actually going to swap this for a more defense-oriented Esper on her. So I think I'm going to go Golem here. Yep. And we're going to swap in Golem. And then I want to try to retain the Zombie Mask. She hasn't used it yet, but I like having it on just in case she can get that third buff in. And I am going to swap this to... I think I'm going to go back to Aegion for the accuracy. And this is one of those times, we've talked about this, we're going to go balls to the wall on trying to equip accuracy. So I'm going aim build here for the book on Ibarra. I am going to go aim build here on the Prunus Lamina Rod. I'm also, now, Renan is exceptionally inaccurate, so I'm actually going to give him the Alexandrite ring as well. And then I'm actually going to turn off his missile attack res and spirit buff, because that's going to do nothing against the Earth comp. None of those three use missile type attacks. You can sort by resonance? I honestly didn't know that. Hold on a second. You can sort espers by resonance? Holy crap, chat, you can sort them by resonance. And hold on a second, let me get my, there we go. So apparently you can sort by resonance. Thank you. Honestly, part of the reason why I haven't done that too is just because I like, not all my espers are maxed. But enough of them are. I'll swap that after. I'm used to seeing them in a certain order, so I don't want to swap that order live on stream quite yet. So I'm actually going to swap this as well, where I'm going to go Brigandine instead for the defense, for the extra area resistance here. Again, we're going to try to stack really heavily for the earth resistance, area resistance, defense, and accuracy. And I think this should be enough. I'm actually going to do something kind of interesting here, where I am going to... Can he equip it? Can he equip it? He can. The Sage's Beret. One of my favorite TMRs in the game. So the Sage's Beret essentially gives you, what is it, 35 or 50% luck up to your allies. This will affect their accuracy. So if he does use this in lieu of his, missile resistance buff, him and Ibarra should get a significant amount of accuracy, buffs here. So I'm going to run with this in the meantime, and I'm going to keep this. I like this. All right. Now, Wish is Luck. So what we should expect, again, Zazan is in the slot 3, so it's going to be him for Charlotte. She's not going to hit him for the life of her. But at least she should draw them toward that part of the map. And with any luck, he won't be able to get both of his buffs off, the Immortal, or the Courage and the Re-Raise. So, hoping here that Ibarra and Renan can just absolutely decimate Noctis and Oberyn on top. Oberyn probably will use his barrier ability ahead of time, so that is something to look out for, that he's probably not getting one shot, maybe not even getting two shot, to be honest. But with any luck here, Renan will always use his barrier turn 1. Ibarra uses this next. My hope is that on Renan's turn 2, he will use the Sage's Beret to give them both that luck up. But we'll see how that actually ends up working. He does, so I'm very happy with that. Ibarra now will put her shield on as well. And you're going to see all of their units going to start gravitating toward Charlotte. God, that's a lot of damage. Oh, good call on the Ahriman. She might have Ahriman, but I don't know if I have the... I'd have to go and change that in the Esper settings. I don't think it's currently set for Earth Resistance. Wow! So Noctis is basically one hit. So this is looking pretty good. So obviously this map is skewed, where it gives Lightning 20% agility and extra 20 modifier. This is not accurate, what you should expect in a regular Guild War. Lightning will not do this well against Earth. But what I am pleasantly surprised about is how often they're hitting Zazan here, where there's literally no doubt. Oh, that's right, the extra 10% resistance is part of it. I'm sorry. I was thinking 10% resistance on the nodes. I might look into that. That's a good call, because he also has the defense. Either way, you saw it wasn't necessary. We just took Mono Lightning and we beat Mono Earth. Specifically an evasion-oriented Zazan. I think we probably should have checked that ahead of time. I kind of just assumed you would build Zazan for evasion, but maybe not. And okay, all right, we're cool with that. So now I'm very intrigued what they're doing with this water comp. As far as I know, none of these units are bonus units this week, so I'm very surprised that they're up this high. But the rest of these units, again, a lot of wind, kind of what you're expecting. So build those ice teams. You might see a random ice team here or there. Obviously, fire can counter them as well, so you kind of get into that whole chess game. But overall, expect a lot of magic this week, particularly because of the Ramuh card being the bonus. I really think that's the vision card, where once you get up into the top 1,000, you really do want to try to optimize your bonuses, where it's just better economically, Vizier-wise. Exactly. Ramuh. Did I say something different? I meant Ramuh if I said something different. Other small little tips, if you will, if you are using Joom, I am a massive fan of putting the Exorcist Vision card on Jum. She will use the triple hit ability, and she is obviously slash oriented as well, so it is kind of a DPS buff for her where she'll get the slash resistance penetration from that. So that's kind of one of my secret synergies that I'm a big fan of. And I honestly tried, I would stay away from Earth. I don't think Earth has any real upside here this week. Where, as you just saw, Mono Lightning can still beat Mono Earth. So I really just don't see a place where it's going to be in your best interest unless it's the only thing you have. Oh yeah, the water team. No, but even still, the fact that they don't have any bonus units, by not having a bonus unit, it basically just means that you have to spend more Visior or Orb refreshes to get the same amount of points as if you would with a bonus unit. So you can do it. It's just going to be more expensive. So nothing wrong with doing that if you do. The other downside is if it's not an overall strong comp, and quite honestly, I don't think this comp is that strong. People are just going to farm off of you. So anyone that gets into this top 30 right now, they're going to look for the easiest target, right? Because again, you want to maximize your streak and you want to maximize how badly you beat them. If you 3-0 an enemy team, you get more points because of it. So you look for the weakest team that you can beat. And to me, like a comp like this sticks out. No. So they do not stack. They both give you 2 separate bonuses. So if you use Renan, you get 100% bonus, and if you use a vision card, you get another 75% bonus. They do not stack. So I'll probably go just a bit longer here because a few of you are enjoying this, so hopefully you're enjoying this. I'll probably do some more against the wind units here using that ice attack that we came up with, just to kind of stress test it and see if it ends up working still. So I'm going to maintain what I had here, but I am going to swap this off Fryevia, because as you saw, it does not give her the agility boost that we thought. I am going to keep this on for the crit evade. Actually, no, I'll give her pod. Actually, no, she doesn't need it. Fucking. Sorry, excuse me. And Renan, I just don't like him moving ahead of her, but that's okay. So we also just need to remember to turn back on his. Oh, I just thought of something. So remember we were just talking about how his buff does not stack with her Spellveil Blade? I'm actually going to keep it off because I want her to get benefit from Spellveil Blade. I want her to get the Spirit Resists from that. So if he does not use that, he should, and I actually, hold on a second here. I actually did some testing with this the other day on which abilities he prioritizes. And so when he's near a unit, he should use his haste TMR. So we're going to do that. I'm going to be doing a video for you all soon about how to test which AI gets prioritized, because I think that's really important to know. And so I'm going to put his TMR back on him so that he can get that haste. Where are you? Thunderflash Mantle, make sure we have it turned on. We do. And yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that as is. So right now, what should happen is Fryevia. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do something else kind of interesting here. I'm gonna give Fryevia a better TMR because right now she really doesn't do much of anything, and so I am going to have her. Oh, there we go. No, she doesn't die. Never mind. I honestly don't think it's a good TMR to sub in, which is already doing well. Yeah. I'll just keep that as is, the slash resistance. Okay, so we're gonna target another slot 3. More the merrier here. You can see their Jum is built mostly for what seems to be nothing. A little bit of magic resistance here, but they have the Dragoon Helm, missile resistance, and some defense. Nothing too crazy, but we are going to target this. And so with any luck, we will have... oh god, I can't remember her name today. Who's my slot 3? Aranea. Hopefully win that 1v1 versus Moore again. Maybe bait that limit break out of Moore so she can't use it later on. With any luck, Renan will use his TMR on turn 2 rather than the Spirit buff. He should. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. So there's my Zizabels. First off, he's going to use Barrier turn 1. And all the testing I've done, he will always use Barrier turn 1. I need to do some more TMR testing, but out of all of his abilities, no matter what, even if there's a unit that needs to be healed next to him, he will use Barrier turn 1 no matter what. So she'll actually use the ability change. He uses his TMR. More the merrier, gets re-raise. In a perfect world, I'd probably try to find a unit down there that can re-raise or move. So someone like Dwayne or even Golbez, hypothetically. Um, that's another good buff for him. So their win comp is way slower than the other one that we saw, where, if you recall, there was already abilities being used at this time. Um, yeah, and you can see Fry's kind of useless without any other offensive abilities, but that's okay because she should still have the hate from her vision card. So because she's not getting hit, she maintains her hate. As you get hit, you start to lose more of your hate, so I'm okay with that. There's your Spellveil Blade. I'm cool with that. Leela has re-raise. I'm really not afraid of that. Yeah, that's an easy win. So props to B plus for putting together a really good win team. This win team is not nearly as well put together. So um, it's the devil's in the details. Although it's the same comp, you can see just those few equips drastically change the outcome of what to expect. So, oh, was that it too? Leela was level 89. I didn't even see that. Oh, that's not even fair. I was punching down on that one. Yeah, okay. All right, and I'll stop there because I think of a lot of what you're going to see here is going to get repetitive. But again, I expect a lot of wind. Um, Earth probably not going to be great. Try to get those streaks up as high as possible. Try to find teams that you can beat as handily as possible because you will get more points from them. And overall, just good luck. I think this is going to be a really interesting map. As mentioned, it's brand new from what I can tell from the arena, so a lot of really interesting theory crafting to go on here that we just haven't had much experience with the map before. So I'll stop here. Went way over longer than I thought, but I really appreciate everybody coming in to watch the stream, ask some questions. I learned a lot. Hopefully you learned a couple things too, as we saw in real time. And looking forward to doing this on a more recurring Monday thing, where as we get the new map, go in, try to give my thoughts on what to expect for the week, do some stress testing, see and do some real time analysis and Q&A with everybody. So thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Some small sneak peek things too. I have a couple things in place to vastly improve the stream quality, where I have a new green screen that I'll be putting up, so I'll be able to kind of readjust where I fit onto the screen. Hopefully we'll have increased mic quality. I'll be buying a new headset relatively soon. And overall, kind of get used to YouTube as a platform as opposed to Twitch. So I'll be able to get, your chat stream on screen and just a whole bunch of things to make this more entertaining. So thanks for your patience and sticking through things, and I'll talk to you all soon. I got some new videos today about the news releases, stuff to expect this week, and I'll be doing some deeper dives on more things to come because we got a lot of changes with the anniversary coming. So I'll be going over the dual vision card bonuses, going over the new Final Fantasy VI units coming out and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all later.